Welcome back to LTS, Let's Talk Sports, and we're talking squash. That's right, squash. I know sometimes we hear a lot about tennis, but we don't hear about squash, what's happening with squash. And as you heard before the break, we have a lot of teams, especially from the event at Bermuda. They represented us well. We got medals. We even took Guyana at one point. Yes. So congratulations to the team, the under-19 and was it the junior team?
Yes, the entire junior team. From under-13 right up to under-19.
All right, so congratulations to them. And we were talking during the break about the relation between tennis and squash. If I can play tennis, can I automatically play squash?
Yes, you can, but we'll have to work on your swing a little bit.
Right.
We don't have such a big swing in squash because space is limited.
Right.
And there are a few guys who've done very well both in tennis and squash. We have Richard Hart, who is a veterans champion at tennis and also a Caribbean champion in squash. And then you have Brian Jackson, who teaches as well.
Right.
So we have a few people out there that do make the transfer.
Right. So
but it's easier from badminton.
Right, because it's shorter,
Right.
back to the shorter. Just give me some, in terms of from a coaching aspect, what is some of the physical aspect, the preparation
That's a very good question. A lot of people have this mindset that they play squash to get fit. That's not true. Squash is a high intensity game.
Right.
So you need to get fit to play squash.
Right, you don't play it to get fit.
No, because you're sprinting so much on the court.
Right.
If you don't have a base, you're going to run out of oxygen very quick. And that means you can't stay any rallies and the game will finish quickly.
Right.
So if you do your slow work, a lot of walking, a little jogging, push-ups, sit-ups, all these things help.
It helps.
Put in a base work, you'll enjoy your game a lot more. Your recovery rate will be faster.
Do we have a lot of, so is there a lot of gym work that happens?
Recommended, yes.
Yeah.
As you get older, you want to get your legs stronger and your core strength better. But as Beverly would tell you, leading up to this tournament, we spent about 2.5 months, as much as twice a week, doing just off-court work.
And off-court work would be what?
Jogging, ball games outside where you're using a lot of physical strength.
Right.
Recovery, interval sprints, different lengths, different recovery times, and stuff like that. You got to get fit to play at this level.
Right.
You got to get fit.
And of course, so is it more? Is it entire body being developed, or is it more upper body? Because I know they have strong arms. One thing I know they have is strong arms. But is it that to play this sport, because you're saying sprinting, which is something I overlooked in terms of you have to have that speed to get to the side to move to the ball. So is it that when you're doing your workouts and preparing that you do an entire body workout, or you get your entire body fit?
Yes,
and prepared
definitely, but not only the body, the mind. We were very lucky this year through the sports company to have a sports psychologist, Tamasha Robinson, and she was absolutely brilliant, and it was worth it for the young team to have her. It's a shame we couldn't take her on tour because I'm sure it might have worked, but you got to get your body and your mind fit if you want to play competitive sport. That's what it comes down to.
Right. And let me find out. I know there are a lot of clubs, right? Squash. How do you decide your pick for the national team? Is it based on their general performance from the clubs?
Yes, well, of course, we would always have a base from year to year because you would have a national team this year, and they would form the base, obviously, for the national team for next year. But of course, like Charlotte, being in girls under 19, she's 18, she moves out.
Right.
So as players get older, they move out, and we're constantly looking for younger players. Also, too, a lot of players can start at age 13, 14, 15 and still get onto the national team.
That's right.
Even in the middle of the age groups.
Yeah.
So how we choose, basically, is we have a number of junior and senior tournaments that some of the juniors play in throughout the year. And based on their performances in these tournaments, we select what we call a training squad initially. And they were trained with the national coach. So as early as about February this year, we selected a training squad and David started training them. And as we came closer to the Junior Casa tournament where we had to cut players because we have a limited number of players that we can send and there's a limited number of players that would make up the team. As we got closer, we had junior nationals. That is the big junior national tournament every year. And we used that as well as a tournament we held in April to basically cut the training squad down to who we believed would make up the national team.
Right, so you mentioned...
But
go ahead.
Also on that, we also do beep tests.
Yes.
It's a physical test.
Right.
A physical fitness test.
Yeah, you run 60 feet and you have to listen to a tape and you have to stay in time with the tape.
Wow.
And we did 3 into this tournament and thank God everybody went up. The fitness level went up. If anybody leveled or went down, we'll have a problem.
Yeah.
You know, they're not putting any time and they would know that they should.
Needed.
So everybody did go up, which was pleasing for us.
So you're saying they have to go the time. So besides being physically fit and athletic, you have to have a bit of rhythm?
Actually, I'll tell you a secret about sports in general. If you're very good with your feet, you'll be a good dancer. And if I could take the entire national team for a month and give them dancing lessons, I would do it. But boys at 13 and 14, dancing lessons, no way, you know. But the quicker and lighter you're on your feet, the easier it is to get to the ball.
Right, definitely.
So yes, there is a common factor there.
And in terms of, do you have a lot of sponsors on board though? I know we're representing, but I know sometimes that tends to be a common issue that we face.
Well, let me talk a little bit about sponsorship. You will see from our T-shirts, we have Ensure, and I want to thank one of our parents, Mr. Gerard Edgell in particular, his company, Market and Distribution. They are the local agents for Ensure, and for the 3rd year running, they have sponsored us with our uniforms.
Nice.
Quite a significant amount of money there. This year, we got quite a bit of money from the Ministry of Sport, so I'd like to thank them as well.
Definitely.
They gave us money to do our Junior CASA tournament, as well as our Senior CASA tournament, which will be held in Barbados in August. In addition to that, First Citizens Sports Foundation did give us some money. Atlantic LNG also gave us a bit. We understand that we will be getting from the National Lotteries Control Board. Haven't received it as yet, but we are hoping to. And there is a fund at the Office of the Prime Minister for sports and culture that we have applied to, and we're also hoping to get. Nothing concrete as yet, but we have information that we should get something from them as well.
And then we also put on events. We had a party that raised quite a bit of money.
Yes,
we tried to do different things.
Right.
Sometimes like squash players who could cook. You know, we try to put on different things because we all have to get involved. These things cost money. You know, and
but I'm really happy to know that you have that backing and that support from sponsors.
Yes.
Again, it's entirely corporate. They help to push, and uniforms are important.
Definitely.
Getting from point A to B, and of course, training, equipment, and space. I know that's another cost that sometimes we overlook. I know you mentioned the CASA. Is it CASA?
Yes.
CASA.
Caribbean Area Squash Association.
Squash Association. And apart from that, can you just tell me about the other competitions that we take part in?
Okay. Well, for Trinidad and Tobago, the main ones that our players look forward to every year are the CASA tournaments, which is the Caribbean ones.
Junior and senior.
Junior and senior. I mentioned senior would be in Barbados this year in August. In addition to that, there are the Pan Am Games, of which squash is a part. So this year, we have Pan Am qualifiers in September, that if we do well, we will qualify for the actual games next year. So I understand that we are sending a men's team to the Pan Am qualifiers. Then you have the Central American and Caribbean Games, the CAC Games. We participated in 2010 in CAC Games, and we actually medaled. Two of our Commonwealth athletes, Colin Ramazra and Kerry Sample, who are there now, did medal in CAC in doubles. There's actually squash doubles, like tennis doubles. They got a silver medal there. So we have CAC Games coming up in November of this year. In addition to that, we do participate in a number of opens that are held throughout the region. You know, Barbados would have some open tournaments. There would be some veteran tournaments as well. Tortola would have maybe an open tournament, Guyana, St. Lucia, Barbados, and so on.
All the islands have their own tournaments, but it's open to anybody.
To anybody, so we try to participate in those. And for the juniors in particular, we have been recommending that the better juniors attend the Canadian Junior Open and the US Junior Open. Those tournaments take place in December, just as school closes, just as the holidays start before Christmas. And we strongly recommend their participation in those two tournaments, the Canadian and the US. We've also recommended participation in the British Junior Open, which happens from the 2nd of January every year. So it's usually still within the Christmas holiday period.
So they're still up,
Yes, and we've had players, junior players, attend the British Junior Open as well as the Scottish Junior Open.
Right. And are you encouraging this so that in terms of the standard?
Correct.
Definitely.
Absolutely right. The only way we as a country can improve our standard of squash is if we go out there and we play better people.
Yeah.
Sure.
We are exposed to players who are much better than we are, so that we could see the kind of standard that we're aiming for. And in fact, I want to say that Charlotte in particular, you know, having just come off of 4 straight medals in Junior Casa, she attended the Canadian Junior Open, the US Junior Open, as well as a number of Canadian tournaments from the time she was about age 15 or so.
Right. So we're going to take a short break and we're going to come back and talk some more squash.
Not a
I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying
Good,
this.
good.
Yeah? Let's take a break. LTS.